Hi guys, Ryu here from Blender Bros, and in this video we're gonna design a simple shape, hard surface shape using sub-D and booleans. Let's go. Okay, so let's add a cylinder here and decrease the amount of verts to maybe 24. I think that's gonna be more than enough. You don't want to work with too dense geometry when you're working with sub-D because it's a headache. S, Z, and scale it a bit. By the way, I'm going to be working a bit with machine tools here. So if you would like to learn more about machine tools, watch my videos. I got 2 extensive tutorials on that. So go ahead and watch it. Press tab with machine tools, go to occlude, which is kind of a X-ray mode here, which is enabled here on the top. Press B, and we're going to select these faces. In fact, we're going to select all of these faces with B. And we're going to extrude them. So EY, extrude them here as a Y0 to flatten them on Y-axis. And then I technically don't need actually these. So let's just remove these here. In fact, in the bottom as well. And remove faces. And then I'm going to simply select these two and press F to build back the faces, right? So select these 2 faces, go to top view. And I'm going to press G and move it in here. I'm going to press Alt-R with machine tools. That's actually one of the tools from the Deus Ex paid version, but you can just press R if you want. Make sure you're on orthographic view, okay? Here on the top, so not perspective, but orthographic. Press G and move it somewhere here. And then we're going to E to extrude that here, like that. And move it somewhere here maybe, and then press Ctrl plus on the numpad and kind of move it somewhere here like that. I'm going to grab this ring here, so click, alt click. That didn't work. Let me just select everything with Control. There we go. Go to orthographic top view, and I'm going to scale it Shift Z to make sure it's going to scale only on Y and Z axis, and do something like that. Alt X with Mesh Machine, which is a paid add-on. But you can also symmetrize it with Blender. So you could go here in edit mode to mesh and symmetrize, or you could go to Alt X with hard ups and press D, symmetry, and symmetrize it this way, okay? Now, if you would like to learn more about modeling in Blender, we have a fantastic course for you. It's free. It's Jumpstart Hard Surface Modeling in Blender. It contains 3 chapters, and the first one is Introduction, which you can learn everything you need to know about UI, menus, and not the bullshit stuff, just the stuff you really need. So it will save you a shit ton of time of looking through YouTube and searching for stuff that most likely you'll never be using. So this is condensed information about how to set up your Blender, how to use the main tools, how to start creating really cool models. There's a modeling section, rendering section, and also editing section, which means you're gonna be able to not only model something, render it, but also edit it and put it on your portfolio to start building your reputation. Link to the course is in the video description. Grab it. Like I said, it's free. Now I'm thinking that this maybe it's a little bit too close here to the middle. So you know what we're gonna do? We're going to select these faces here and remove them, okay? So remove faces, and I'm going to remove this one as well, and I'm going to actually connect them here like that. So I'm going to shift it by 1 face, okay? And then select them both here and just simply press F to rebuild that shape, and then we're going to rebuild it in here, F, and 1 more face here, and 1 more time mirror to the other side. So we got a bit more room here to move in the middle, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a bit of a kind of like a bevel here. So we're going to remove this one, dissolve, select that, Control B, and make sure that you're going to maintain more or less, okay, more or less the size of these faces here. Alt X to the other side, the same thing here, and chamfer with Control B, and there you go. Now we don't need that junk in here, so you could either remove it with hard ups, or we could simply, just select these 2 verts and dissolve vertices, okay? And then you're gonna be left with this, J, and combine here, J, okay? Cool. And actually we could combine this one as well, J, alright? PG. And then Alt X and Alt X, and just symmetrize both ways or mirror both ways, and you're gonna be good to go. Cool. Now here we got a bit of a problem, so what we're gonna do is we're going to align this one with this. Okay, so select these, shift select that, go to top view, orthographic, Alt A, and move to the top. That's also with machine tools, and you're gonna flatten this bit in here. Okay, cool. This should do. Awesome. So now let's add another cylinder. Okay, and we're going to scale this and SZ, and we're going to boolean that with hard ups because it's easier. Okay, if you don't have hard ups, you can just use a vanilla boolean through the modifiers, or simply enable bool tools, right, through preferences. And what you can do is click that, select that, and hold Control and press minus on the numpad, which is the same effect. Cool. So now here, what we're going to do, we're going to cut this here. You could use a cube. I'm going to be using box cutter because it's faster. And there are links to all the add-ons I'm using in the video description. And I'm going to cut it somewhere here like that. Press B, and we're going to add maybe 4 segments. I don't need more than that. We're not going to cut the cutter. We're going to cut actually this shape here. So again, 4 segments and cut. And it's going to cut it through, which is pretty cool. Let's move it a bit deeper. Okay, so GY and move it a bit deeper somewhere here. And SX and scale it on X-axis. There we go. And we're going to cut another one here in this area. So I'm going to use hard ups to create a cut here. So I'm going to cut it maybe here like this. Okay. And then I'm going to create a cut in the middle here with an end gun. Maybe like this, okay, and then press B, and I'm going to create 4 segments on in each corner, and I'm going to cut through. Okay, now this one in the bottom here could be actually beveled as well, maybe 4 segments, and I'm going to mirror to the other side. Okay, so this would be our basic shape. In fact, this one here could be also mirrored. So we could go to modifiers with Control tilde. And let's see which boolean was it. This one, right? So let's apply this. Okay. And I'm going to grab that and Control B, and also for segments, Alt X to the other side, and boom. So this is our basic shape. We could also bevel this one here just to make it, kind of smoother, right? And the rest is gonna be angular. This is a little bit deep. We can move it a little bit to the right. So use ever scroll with hard ups and move it somewhere here. You gotta be careful. This is gonna be really tricky. This kind of a bevel transition here, but we can work with that. So this would be our basic shape. Okay. Cool. Now let's think. We could also, slightly curve these, like that, right? So we could curve these. Let's select this one as well. It's going to be less work for us, and do something like this, and then Alt X, and it's going to be a little bit more curvy. Now technically you don't really need sub D for this, but we're going to convert it into sub D. I'll show you how easy that is. So let's just go here and let's apply all the modifiers, right? Let's multiply. And now we can start, cleaning that thing up. So we need to create, connections everywhere and make sure that we have quads. So we can start here by pressing J, and another one. We could, where is it here? Another one here. So J. Then we could remove these 2 faces. So remove faces and simply, reconnect them with F. So that's going to save us a little bit of work. And here we could create, let's say 2 loops and combine them here and here. Now situations like this, you can go with triangles because it's a flat face. So you could, for example, do something like this. Okay, this is perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. There's not a quad here waiting to happen. Alt X and you're done. Okay, and then Alt X down. Oh, in fact, can we actually do that? No, we can't. So we need to do it manually everywhere. Okay, cool. So here, the same thing. We just have to make sure that we have all the connections. So J and J, and we're going to remove these two. So, you know, remove the face and connect it here. That didn't work very well for us. And go, let me just see that. All right, the connection here has to be like this, and move this one here. There we go. Now we can remove this face, and now we can connect them properly together, right? There we go. Here the same story. We could connect them with J. You could be using also the HardOps edit tool, which is fantastic for connecting edges. I'll show you in a minute how to use it. Here, connect these two, and you got quads everywhere basically. I'll text to the other side. I want to remove the hard edges, so what I'm gonna do is select everything and you know, click on mark, which will unmark everything. I don't need any hard edges here. This is not the best connection here, but you know, it's gonna work. Don't worry about it. Sweet. So that's done. And here we need to do the same thing. So, you know, J, and here J, and select these two and faces, and basically redo that, and connect these two, and connect these two, connect these two, and the same thing here, right? So connect that and alt X, and same at the bottom. So connect maybe these two here, and these two, right? And then, you know, remove these faces, rebuild that. Let me show you this edit tool in HardOps. It's here. Edit multi-tool, press J, and then you can click and drag to connect where it's click, click and drag, click, click and drag, click. And let me see that. Press space to confirm. This is not the best connection here. Just remove that. I think it's better to run it this way. And move this one here. So GG, right? And let's just run it here and this way here. Triangle here in the middle is fine. It's a flat face, it doesn't matter, okay? Cool, here we will need some connecting loops. So let's run maybe one here and split it into, I would say two, maybe it's enough. And connect them here, 1, 2, right? And then we could drop them down a little bit, although it doesn't matter. If you don't have to worry about, you know, topology on flat faces, don't waste your time on it. There's no point of creating, you know, beautiful uniform quads if you're not going to be using them. The most important thing is for that to hold shading. But if you had, for example, curved surfaces, then, you know, even quads are kind of important, okay? The even size of quads, because the shading is gonna be a bit more uniform, okay? Here, two of these edges, connect them here and simply mirror to the other side, and that's, you know, the front kind of done. Now here we could create, let's say, 3 loops and connect them here, 1, 2. Okay, 3, and then we're gonna have 2 loops here, and let's just bring them closer together, GZ, and connect them. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's bring them up a bit. There's a curve here, so let's just be a little bit more accurate. There we go. Connect these 2 here as well. You can turn off box cutter with W if it bothers you. Sometimes box cutter is doing stupid shit, so turn it off if it's, you know, annoying. J here, and we could technically run a J here, possibly, although I'll prefer to run a loop here and here. There's a curve here going this way, so this is probably gonna be a better idea, a bit more intuitive. And then here we have an end gun, you see. So that's a bit of a problem. So maybe this is not the best idea. Maybe this is, well, maybe this is a better idea here. And we could just remove this. Okay, so dissolve that, and then we do still have an end-gun here situation. So what we could do is run one more connection here like this. Okay, and then connect these and this here and this here, and I think we're good to go, right? Cool. Alt X. And here the same thing, so let's just run 2 loops, combine them here, and another one. Right, we could just move it a little bit up, and here we can combine this thing from the top, or in fact it's a flat face, so we can go like this, and here, and here. And let me see that it's a flat face here too, so you don't have to worry about the distance between the quads or the size. See what I mean? Like, when you don't have to give yourself a headache, don't give yourself a headache, okay? Just work smart, you know? If you can take shortcuts, take them, because it's gonna save you time. And time is something that, you know, cannot be replenished. Edit multi-tool J, it's gonna be a bit faster here. This is gonna be tricky here for sure. This could be run like this, it's not a problem. Let's press space. Now this one's gonna be a bit more tricky here, so let's just run a J here and maybe J here, and then we need 1, 2, 3 loops, okay? So J, J, and J. So this one wraps around, and which is fine, because what we can do here is run an edge in the middle here through this entire structure once we finish, so we can do it later. So here, let's combine these as well. Let's run an edge here and combine these, and, you know, another edge here and combine these two. And then we have a loop here, which is going to combine here, okay? Cool, just drop it down a little bit so it's a bit more civil. Now these are gonna be tricky, so let's combine that here. Although I could use another loop here, to be honest. I think it's gonna be better. Combine it here and then here, right? Cool. And these could be going to the top, so this one could be going here. Right, and this one could be going here. So J, J. This is a flat face, so it doesn't matter. And there's going to be another angle here, so we can run a loop here to mitigate that, and run, you know, an edge here and just alt X to the other side. These two, they could be merged together like this. This one should technically go up, but I think it's gonna work, so we can, you know, we can try that. Cool, so I think we connected here. But we still have this problem here on this side, so let's just finish connecting edges. So, you know, J, and then J, and J, J, and J, and the same here. So J, 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 and J, right? Cool. Same in the bottom. See how sub D is slow? That's what I'm talking about. If you don't need to use sub D, just skip it, because it's just retarded. I mean, use it when you really need it, okay? People just keep saying that you need topology and all that. They're full of shit, you know? You need topology when you really need it. When you don't need it, don't fucking use it, because, you know, you gotta be retarded to use it. Lose your time on bullshit that's unnecessary. So now, possibly I could run a loop here. There we go. So this loop, where is it going? He's going here. That's not what I want. Let me just turn it off here and run it through the bottom here, like this, alright? There's a triangle here in the bottom, and we need to fix that. So let's run a cut here, and combine this here. Dissolve that, and move it slightly here. And see on this side, yeah, we're gonna get this. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to run a cut like that and remove this. And there's gonna be an end gun here. So we could technically run a loop and do this, you know, and you would have a triangle here, but what you could do is combine it like that, and maybe run a loop here through this shape. So here, and then combine these in the middle. Delete that, and here through the top as well, and then combine these two. Okay, and problem solved, right? Alt X. And now here, this needs to be sorted because we got this problem here in the top. This massive angle needs to be solved. So let's just add this another angle here. So let's just fix that by slicing them into smaller portions like that. And then what I can do is I can actually, you know, split that edge into two, and I can, or even three. And what I can do is end this, you know, shape here, okay, in a triangle, because it's a flat face, so I don't have to worry about shading. See what I mean? Then Alt X to the other side. Now what I'm going to do is select everything. I'm going to resharpen it, which means I'm going to have sharp edges everywhere. Click on one sharp edge, press Y with Mesh Machine select and S select. This will select all the sharp edges and that are connected. Then we need to select these that are not connected. So here, right, these, right. And what we're going to do is run bevels on it, just to, you know, create security loops around these shapes. Okay, so here, here, and here. Cool. And this one too, right? This one in the middle. So this one needs to be selected too. Cool. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna press Control on this one as well, right? And this one. And everything. Cool. So now Control B, right? And you wanna do is press P to adjust the profile. And once you flex it to 90 degrees, press A to adjust the size of it, okay? And then click, and you can turn off the loop slide, which will prevent some of the disasters happening here when the loops are being pulled, okay? And this is your security loop around the bevel. Here too, Control B, let's just do that. And let's remove all the sharp edges because we don't need them. So select all Q, unmark, and then Control 3, and let's see what we're getting. This is a sub D already running around. There's some shading problem here. Let's check it. So let's go to subdivision, turn it off in edit mode. The reason why I get shading problem here is this area. We need to relieve the pressure here a little bit. So let's run something like this. And this should actually help. The same here, we could have another loop running around just to make these shapes a bit smaller. Combine them here and combine them here. And this should help tremendously. There you go. Still some kind of dent in here. Let's just Alt X to the other side to mirror this. There's still some kind of this pole here is causing the problem. Serious. The flow technically, okay, should be going with the curvature, which means should be going vertically, not horizontally. This goes horizontally, right? So we could kind of redirect curvature here like this, create a triangle, remove that, create another loop here, okay, and combine these two. And maybe create another loop here. Whoa, okay then. Create another loop. Let me see. This triangle would actually work now. Work fine. There's still kind of a dent here, and that's caused by this pole here in the middle, okay? So here we could, let me think. This triangle should be moved to this area, okay? So GG and move it up, GG and move it up, and there's a massive pull right now. So what we can do is run another edge here like this, okay? We can relieve this pressure here from this area, and this should be much better, okay? So GG and drop it down, GZ and oh, this is not combined, there we go. GZ and drop it down, and then you don't want triangles on curved areas, on curvatures, but this is gonna flat, so it's okay. So this kind of works. This kind of works now, okay? So you see, triangles are fine as long as you run them on areas that do not bend or have any flex on them. Flat areas can handle n-gons, triangles, anything you desire. And there you go, guys. It's a very simple sub-D shape. It looks really clean, no problems. Topology is good. It's not super equal, but it doesn't really matter. You can see clearly that it doesn't matter. As long as you can get away with shading, this is all you need to worry about, okay? So if you're not going to be bending this, and you're not going to be bending this because that's a stiff piece, it's a solid piece made of metal. So no one's going to be bending that, which means it will not be animated. So that, these quads will not work. They're going to be static. So it's a static mesh, which means if you need sub-D, you just need to make sure the sheathing holds and the quality of the sub-D itself. The quads here do not have to be equal. Now, if you really want to make something perfect, you can go the easy route and go to quad remesher. I don't even know if mine's installed at the moment. It isn't, but I can install very quickly and I'll show you. Now, quad remesher it's not cheap. It's about $100 or $110. But if you're working with sub-D, especially with sculptures, it's superb, and it will save you a shit ton of time for, if you need to retopologize something very quickly, because Blender native retopology tools are garbage. So here, let's say that we want to retopologize the basic shape, right, which is, how many traces here? 5,000. Okay, so let's go with 5,000. Let's keep the adapt quad size and count and remesh it. And let's see what we're gonna get. And we're gonna get perfectly remeshed mesh. And we're going to press Ctrl 3 to sub-D that, and boom, there's your mesh. See what I mean? That's why you want to use add-ons. Look at this mesh. Now, if someone is bitching at you that your mesh is not perfectly subdivided, well, do that. And you're good to go. Now, just a quick postscriptum, guys. If you have this kind of a nasty edge running all over your sub-D and you don't know what it is, this is most likely auto smooth, which needs to be turned off when you working with sub-D. So turn it off and it's gonna go away. I had the auto smooth kicking in because I was using hard ups, and hard ups is basically applying that all over your mesh automatically with the smoothing. So turn it off and you're good to go. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.